and keeping track and watching the kids correctly, but yet still having a good time. There's a definite balance, and I recognize that there's a need to have fun and there's a need to keep them safe. So my job and Amy's job is to make sure that you're trained to know what can happen and kind of make you scared a little bit in order to make you go towards the safety side, and as you develop these skills in order how to do it, grow your more fun side, because it's easier then to know in what case scenarios how to make certain decisions and when it's okay to kind of have more fun in a situation versus be more safe. Because let's be honest, what do? We go out in the community, we travel on big buses, we play on playgrounds that we don't have any control over, we go to other places and do field trips at water parks and city pools, we swim at lakes with ducks. We're just like a walking, like, what could happen list, but we're fun. So it's a matter of trying to find that balance. I'm not gonna lie, me in this program 15 years ago, we had way more fun. Javon was a part of that, it was way more fun. But there are so many more guidelines, and I do my best to make sure that I allow you guys to be able to have fun, but I have to train you on how to make the decisions on when you can have fun, so I have to scare you a little bit. That video should have scared you, like literally make you want to vomit in your mouth, because that easily could be any of you. Those of you that have worked in my program or a similar program, how many times have you thrown kids and put them in the lake, or dunked them, or you guys are where the kids chase you and they're chasing you and you go back and forth? Are you watching and seeing all of the students? Could that have happened? Lord help me if it goes that long. Like, that part makes me want to vomit in my mouth. I'm not quite sure how it went that long, but there are times when it should be at least where you can picture yourself going like this and around and maybe not necessarily keeping track. When you're in the middle of Coon Fork and two of you are tossing some kids in the lake, you have to follow and watch them come back up and swim back in. Don't turn your back on a kid that you just threw and go to the next kid. Follow through the whole procedure. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying do it safely. Watch them land in the water. Watch them get out to where they can swim. The best swimmers suck in water. The best swimmers can also make poor decisions and get caught up or turned around underwater. You need to follow through those things. If you're playing chase, if you have more kids than you can track on you and chasing you, you either need to get another counselor around or you need to stop the game and play something else different. You gotta find that inner sense. You gotta find that inner balance. You gotta find that inner choices of what is safe and what's not. And let me explain to you and reiterate, that comfort level with your brothers and sisters or cousins or two children that you're babysitting could probably be more fun than in this large group setting. The reason that I state that is 2 to 3 children and your family is way different than in a group setting. So you need to also process that. It's not like kids will be kids and we have fun. We're in a group childcare setting. If you allow a student to do something that you would normally, if it was your cousin or family member, it doesn't necessarily mean it's still okay. What you do, all of the kids are going to want to do. What you do, I'm going to have to report to state licensing. So don't use that as a filter for safety. If I have to explain to a parent that I allowed them to blah, 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 or me, and if the answer is, I don't really know how to explain that and it'd be okay, don't do it. So why do you think Amy wanted you to watch this video?
Because it could easily happen.
Very easily. When we're at pools, as lifeguards, you guys aren't lifeguarding. We count on the rest of the team to lifeguard and stuff, so you guys get to play. But you still have to watch other kids. even if they're not ours. Yes.
So yesterday there was a question asked where if our lifeguard should be lifeguarding when we're at a pool, and Amy said our lifeguard should. Is that a yes?
It's more a tracking thing.
Okay.
And she's in charge of lifeguards, so if she tells you guys that you have to guard at a
Okay.
pool, then you need to guard at a pool. But in my mind, all of you should be watching and tracking kids, whether you're a lifeguard or not. If your lifeguards are in, armpit length in the lake and the other one's on the beach, that doesn't mean that you guys get to do whatever. You might have the one person offering the alternate activity, but you're watching. You're constantly surveying and watching. When you're playing games, you're constantly surveying and watching. When you're doing anything, you're constantly, that's what you guys need to develop quick. And that's what I'm hoping you're developing in school-age childcare right now, is that ability to be playing Pictionary, but knowing what's going on around you. Knowing when a parent comes to pick up a child and leave. Knowing when someone drops someone off. Knowing when a community member comes onto the playground. Knowing when two kids are arguing. You need to, while you're still playing and interacting with the kids, you have to develop that skill. That's a must. Because otherwise what happens is while you're playing with the kids and you can only focus on what you're doing, that's how something like that happens. Okay, what else? Tell me about how did you guys feel when you're watching it? Was it like more of like, oh, that will never happen, or scary, or what? Give me some descriptive words.
It kind of made me think about how important like buddy checks are, and just like how frequently we have to do them.
Yeah, because they're frustrating to do.
Yeah.
And it's super interruptive. But you're like, oh, because 8 minutes. So if a buddy check would have been called anywhere in there. What else? Yes.
One of the things for me was like you gotta think about the situation. This is the first day of camp. And he's like talking to this kid and like, how does he know if that kid can swim or not?
Exactly. Don't be fun guy. You don't know. What else? Michelle.
I was just kind of confused about the pool because it was like shallow, but then it like got deeper and deeper. Like shouldn't there have been like a section separated?
Some pools, yes. So this was a country club in that example. So what I'm going to pull out of that comment is know your pool. Some pools, when you go to the pool, figure out the sections, figure out the areas. When we do this, and we're going to talk about the tracking and defining the areas, again, using before and after school care and how we separate the playground, we do that when we go to a pool. Shallow end over, deep end over, diving well. We separate it out based off of those different things and define those boundaries. So know your pool. Does it have a divider? And if not, where does it drop off? The Y pool doesn't. You don't know where it goes and starts getting deeper. So you need to know your pool and you need to know your kids. And Javon's right, day one, yeah, I can swim. Awesome, let's go. No. Yeah.
Like I have a comment about that. Last summer it was Eric, and like his dad told us, oh, he's a really good swimmer. Like he's got this. And when he went to go take the swim test, he just sunk, and the lifeguard had to get him.
Yep.
Because he was so scared.
Rescues, yep.
Yeah, and like he was like his dad told him he should be fine. He's a great swimmer. He loves swimming, and so we let him try the test right away. Obviously, we have so many people standing there when the tests happen that it was fine. But
still super scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you need to watch all steps and aspects of it. And it's scary to see one of your kids be rescued. Like even if it's like seconds like that, you're just like, ooh. What else? So, by the way, don't take the word parents' perspective from it either. Parents don't know. I personally still say my kid can't swim, and apparently he could pass the test, but I don't know. I don't believe it, really. Still watch my kid. Yes.
Like how playing with kids can go wrong very easily.
Yes, the jungle gym. We talk about that a lot. All of you, girls and guys, you guys become the jungle gym. You got to figure out where your line is, and right now I'm going to ask that you draw that line way quick. If it's even like one hand, one arm, you can only put it on my arm. You can't hang on me, because you can see kids when they're like this, and if you have more kids than what you can handle on your arm, then you can't see anyone behind you or where else. So make your rules and figure out what you're comfortable with, because you're responsible for whatever's hanging on you. / you could drown. I will repeatedly explain, I almost drowned the first year I worked at camp. I had 2 kids almost take me out. And I'm like, that's scary. It's scary when you can't come to the top. Being forced down by 2 children that you're supposed to keep alive. You can't really pull the kids down in order to save yourself. These are the things that you can contemplate in seconds. What?
Near him.
Yeah, no. Okay. Amy might have some more comments on the Yanni drowning, especially specifically about her expectations for lifeguards. But off of that comes tracking. The part that makes me like have a hard time watching that is when I picture it in our program, because we go to pools all the time. So that happens. You guys play that game. I watch you guys play that game because you're interacting with the kids and they chase you and you chase them and you go from deep end to shallow and you do this thing and it's fun. Where's the rest of the staff? Do you know what I'm saying? The lifeguards, yes, undertrained, absolutely. I know for a fact that why lifeguards cannot take their eyes off of the pool and get punished and disciplined if you do. So I'm fully aware of what the expectations are. So there's an undertraining, but where were the rest of the camp staff? Do you know what that's where someone should be elsewhere in that area. Do you know what I'm saying? So what are you guys gonna be watching when you're not in the pool playing? When you're not in the beach?
Well, like if you're on a beach and you're the one that's on land, like building sandcastles with the kids, like don't put your back to the water and build and have the kids here. Like face the water, help build, and keep like glancing and scanning like while you're building. Just put yourself in like a good position where you can see everyone still.
Exactly, constantly. Safety and social interaction. You're watching what's happening. Who's separate? Who's alone? Who's gonna wander away and not take their buddy with them? So there's lots of things to watch for besides drowning. There's lots of safety things. What else? What would you hope your group would do differently in that case scenario? Because dude was doing his job. He was interacting with the kids, he was playing with the kids, building a relationship. It's day 1. The kids liked him, it looked like. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I have another staff member telling him that, like, what he's doing, like, wasn't quite okay. Like, don't keep the kid. Like, I mean, I've done that, like, not necessarily don't, I don't want their head repeatedly going into the water. Like, I'll pull them, like, throw them a few times, but I'll make sure they can get up very easily. Not where they're touching the bottom 10 feet down.
Right.
Jeez.
To me, in my opinion, there should be never a reason that you dunk any child for 12 times. Like, you pull and play and dunk and stuff, but like consistent dunking, and he's 4. I don't get that. So age appropriate. What else would you hope to see as a team that you guys do differently?
Maybe more than one person in the water. He was the only like staff. There was other adults, but I think he was like the only staff in the water.
Yes. What else?
I was thinking like if the kid is continually going underwater and like coming up and only having a few seconds to breathe, like every couple of minutes, even if they enjoy that, every couple of minutes be like, okay, you need to take a minute, like break now. So they like can catch their breath and then go back. Diving is something they find fun, just have them take a break.
Be able to gauge that and recognize that and call it out. Your kids can't regulate themselves. They're like, yeah, do it again. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, kind of working off Kate's point, like, especially after like the swim test, I always tell the kids, you're done, so you gotta take a break before you can go back in, because for sure kids, that's just strenuous.
Yeah. The swim tests is strenuous.
Yeah.
That's a good, absolutely. Recognize that. You can't go any deeper than your armpits for a little bit. You gotta keep your head above water until you can figure things out. Same thing with the diving well. And then they play those games, and that's something that you need to watch too. The whole how long can you hold your breath underwater and handstands and those types of things. You know, these two are doing it, and then in comes third number one. I'll play winner. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you just need to, you don't need to stop it. You just need to supervise it and make sure that they're making the right choices, because they just keep going. They'll just keep doing it. And there's a lot of statistics on a couple different things. Dry land drowning, if kids suck in water, hours later that water's still in their lungs and they can drown later from that. So that's why we need to report when we rescue kids. That's why we need to make sure parents are aware. Came up spitting water today, so, and if we didn't see it, we can't report it and we can't prevent it. So that's our job, to kind of track and watch. As a parent, you have to understand this is the scariest thing in the whole entire world to do. The kids love it. My kid loved to swim. The first time I had Mason come to day camp, we had just gone to Jellystone, because when you have a lot of different age gap of kids, what do you do for vacation? You go to like little water parks, Wisconsin Dells, you know, that type of thing, because it's for everybody. He was just done with kindergarten, and I'm like, oh, can you swim, buddy? Let's practice swimming across. So I put him in the water, and the water was like this, and he was this tall, and he went underwater, and he just looked at me underwater. I'm like, dude, where's your survival instinct? What is going on? And I pull him up, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, and I'm like, you're gonna kill yourself. So then fast forward to me saying, here, so-and-so staff, so now I'm your boss, and now you're responsible for my kid. That's already a little extra pressure, Rachel. Chaz.
I had once already.
That's true. So I'm like, he has no survival instinct. I have my eye on him all the time, constantly. And I know you can't constantly, like I can. You can't. There's no way you can. But you better try your best. Does that make sense? Like, as a parent, I'm like, here, do the most dangerous activity in the whole entire world. Swim with my kid. Take him. Travel with him. It'll be fun. He makes great choices. If you don't stop him. You know? So be conscientious that that's your role. Your role is to teach them how to make the right choices and stop it. I always say, as a parent, my job is to prevent as many times as I can that my kids try to kill themselves. That's pretty much that's what parenting is. Maybe don't drive the four-wheeler with your feet. So that's your job, is to try to encourage them to make the right decisions and not kill themselves. And on your watch. So that leads me to tracking. How did Amy set up what was her goal for you guys? What were you supposed to do?
Each group has to have their tracking system
Okay.
ready.
Well, like their idea.
I mean, not like.
Yeah.
Not like right here with every
Well,
piece of
ready
material.
to like be like, I don't know, this is what I need for it.
Awesome. I like this.
At
Okay.
least our group. I don't know.
All right. So what are we doing as tracking? Let's go in order. Fish tank.
We're using the clothespin kind of like we did last summer, and then we're going to have like 2 sets, so it's just like we have 1 set in the classroom like for each activity while the kids doing the clothespin on that activity, so we know right where they are at all times.
For zones and stuff?
For zones and stuff, and then we're going to have whatever staff's running that activity or zone, they put that clothespin on their lanyard too.
Okay. Who's doing the clipboard? Okay. Okay. I thought maybe it was them, but I couldn't remember. Okay, fish tanks, clothespins, and lanyards then. And when will that start? So like, take me through the day. So in the morning, your opener will put them
Yeah.
for the huddle groups?
Yeah.
Okay. And then from huddle group, are you giving them to the students, or are the students,
So
or are you giving them counselor to
we
counselor?
didn't-
we'll go through our
I
huddle
don't know if
groups
the kids do it,
and
though.
during like our
We
morning
had the
meeting,
kids do it last year, I
like
think.
or like during snack, and we'll talk about what activities you want to do throughout the day. So for like
Yeah,
activity one,
so
we'll ask
maybe
kids
just
what they
when the
want to
kids
do,
get
this or
here,
this,
grab their.
and they'll put it on one side of our lanyard,
Because I don't
activity
know
one,
where we're gonna
activity
do
two,
like clothes.
and then we'll go over to the like the main part, and then take it from like
So maybe-
they're doing this activity.
So counselor to counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. And then tracking wise,
We'll figure out. what
we'll
it
talk
is.
about field trips
Mm-hmm.
and what that is next. Frog Pond, what are you doing?
Sorry.
Nope, that's-
Go ahead, I'm stretching.
Okay.
We're gonna do the clothespins, and so what we have, I actually have on my here, our huddle group names, the clothespins, like everyone's will be around their huddle group, and this will be on the wall. And they
Okay.
take the clothespin, when they get there, they take the clothespin off and put it on the staff that they're assigned to for the day.
Okay.
And then, if they go and do a different activity with a different staff, they bring the clothespin over to that staff, and so then it mixes up like that.
So camper to staff.
Yes.
Okay.
And then for swimming, because we don't really wear lanyards when you swim, I mean the lifeguards do, but we were gonna do a different color bracelet, and so if I have 5 kids in my zone, I'd have 5 bracelets on, and then if they wanna change zones, they take the bracelet with them and bring it to the staff in that zone.
Within the classroom? Or,
For swimming.
oh, swimming, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Fish tank, frog pond, clubhouse.
We're gonna do clothespins again, like, when they get here, we're gonna keep those and have them on their thing, so they just grab them and then give them to the staff. And then throughout the day, they're just gonna switch with like whoever's leading the activities. And then for library, they're gonna go with their huddle group to the library to do activities and stuff like that. And then swimming, we're gonna keep one staff on land with all the kids that are in the water. And then like the person leading the on land activities will just have their kids.
Yeah, probably your lifeguard land.
Yeah.
Okay. Clubhouse, hot shots.
We have like a clipboard for each counselor, and then they're gonna have like their kids on it for like the day or whatever kids they're watching in their zone. And we also have like a reward tracking thing on it too, so like we can keep track of their like behavior kind of reward system that way within the groups as well. And I think that's it. It's gonna be like laminated and waterproof clipboard, so you can take it soon.
Lamination. Who loves laminator? Hot shots, clubhouse, Y juniors.
We're gonna do lanyards and then, or like clothespins and lanyards, then opener and closer, like, or opener, we'll put them on. And then we have 2 huddle groups, we're gonna go in accordance to like huddle groups. I'll give like the opener, oldest of huddle groups as well. And then like for swimming, I'm gonna have, however many lanyards we need, or like use one of our lanyards or whatever, and the person on land will need, like, so if a kid wants to switch from like towels to swimming or swimming to towels, then the person on land or on towels is gonna have to like switch it.
Okay. Explorers.
We're doing the clothespins and lanyards too. I was thinking about having like a wall where they keep like their core value coupons in accordance to their huddle groups, and that's where their clothespins will be, so then when they come in, they grab it. And then we're gonna do camper to counselor clothespins, so if they want to go do an activity, they take the clothespin to the counselor. That way you don't have to do the whole.
And you're a camper to counselor, right?
Yeah.
And what were you? Was it gonna be camper to counselor or counselor to counselor?
Probably camper counselor.
So, specialty camp.
So in our huddle groups, we're gonna have, like, little drawstring backpack things for our sunscreen, and then on those, we'll have little red luggage tags with the kids' names on them, for each huddle group. So then when we do like sports and stuff, we do it in stations. So then like Javon will lead a station and he'll have a backpack with his huddle group, and then when we switch stations, they'll just like change backpacks.
Perfect. Okay. Why is it important to have the tracking method and everyone to know? Is it counselor or staff or the order or what you're doing? Why is it important? Yes.
Just so everyone's on the same page and that we don't lose a kid.
The sole purpose of life is to not lose a kid. Yes. Yes.
Why leaders, if our favorite kids, us newbies, misunderstood tracking.
Okay.
So help us out with some ideas. Because we only have like what, 8?
With your kids, we don't all out track. The kids have to check in with you
Okay.
at the Y, and if they aren't where they said they're supposed to be, then you guys walk the Y and stuff, and if they're not where they say they are, then they get a consequence or lose a privilege based off of that. It's more independent in that way. The only time that the kids aren't independent is when you go off-site, and then they just have to be with you. Do you know what I'm saying? So like if you go to the Mall of America, that's your big trip, you have to have a group of kids and you have to have a group of kids. You can't be like, meet here in a half an hour.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
No, true, but yeah, that Valley Fair.
So that's what we were thinking, just like groups of 4 or 5, and you have to stay with your counselor.
Right.
Group.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's fine. But I'm more so in the sense of these guys have to stay constantly within sight and sound with the kids all the time. But like if you guys are
Or like
at the library, you don't have to stay in the exact same area with the kids at all times because you have older kids. But they have to know you can't leave, you can't do this, do you know what I'm saying? And they have to stay with a buddy. I do want them, and you need to make sure that you're never one-on-one. All of you have to make sure that you're never one-on-one with anyone. Yes?
I wrote something with Amy yesterday, but like last summer I had that kid like poop himself and like coming from the pool.
Yeah.
So like, is that alright to like try and go one-on-one there? She said to like bring another staff, but won't that bring us on a ratio?
It's questionable. It depends on the day, it depends on the situation and what's going on. You just it just depends on the kid. So in that case scenario, if it's a routine, and we do have some students that it may be a problem and we'll know, so that's something that we need to kind of figure out what we want to do. So that's a case by case scenario. But
So if they do have a diagnosis, then do we just ask him?
no, we'll talk. We'll make a plan. Typically, it's the first and second graders. Third and fourth graders are going to take care of that themselves. And then you're going to be out there trying to help or those types of things in the sense of communicate with them. And you're going to more, like when you report to the parent, you're going to say, you know, I stood outside the restroom and kind of helped him and handed him his clothes, and I think we're okay. In a confidential, far away from the children conversation, so not to embarrass them. But there are a couple students that do have, I don't even know what the formal diagnosis is, but basically when your muscles are not developed enough and accidents happen, especially in warm pools, which have to stay warm for working with certain age groups and different activities, so it happens, I'm not gonna lie. But we have put things in place, making sure that they go to the bathroom before we leave and before they get in the pool, and we take them out at certain times, and to make sure that we can prevent that as much as possible. Pools. So we talked a little bit about you zone them off like a playground, and you zone off playgrounds. So did you guys talk as a team about, first of all, does everyone on the teams know about the clips and how they work and stuff like that? Did you guys talk together? Yes? Okay. Did you talk together about like how you're going to handle a playground? So we get to our first location and we're all going to rotate, and activity period 1's over here, activity periods 2 is over here. Yes?
Well, what I was thinking is because we haven't really had a chance to like meet as a group and talk about those specific things. So I was thinking next week for our group, we were just gonna like have like an hour during those 8-hour days that we're just gonna sit down and talk, go through all of that stuff.
Okay.
So I'm just telling you, sorry.
No, that's okay. I just want to make sure that you didn't already do it. But I do want you to, I would like you to think about it right now and kind of talk a little bit in the sense of the pools is the big one, and the pool process and the playground process is the same. So I want you guys to, because those 8-hour days happen when after school age childcare is done. So I kind of want you to have somewhat of a conversation, because I want you to process the thoughts tonight when you're out on the playground, okay, I'm here with, some of the sites operate at the same level, but some sites you only have like 8 kids. So you have to, if you have 8 kids, you need to picture, I have 35, how are we gonna divide this space up? What would that look like? How would we rotate it? How would we track it? So I want you to be able to picture that and think about that. And I want you guys to make sure that you're all on the same page, because when it comes to pool time, if you don't have a smooth transitions, you never get in the water. The kids are in the water and we've paid like $3.50 a kid to get in for you guys to swim like maybe 20 minutes. So I want these transitions to be smooth and organized because it's safety, it's preventing sunscreen or sunburns, and value of the dollar, man. Nothing's worse than when we're like struggling with, well, where's this kid and why is that one and what's going on, and then the kids are like, which group are we in? So I want you to kind of discuss those types of pieces. Is there a group besides Y Leaders that is all new staff? Explorers, okay. So returning staff, touch base about how we're gonna make those transitions successful, what the downfalls are. I mean, picture it, you got a sunscreen, and then how often are you gonna stay in the zones, when you're gonna come together, how are you gonna bring them in, what the responsibilities are in each section, how are you gonna smooth that out. So talk about that, and then I'll talk to these guys, and then we'll come back.
Okay.